All right, let's go over the top three Big Ten teams this year in football and see if they're going over or under their win total number, courtesy of DraftKings, not a sponsor, by the way. And I'm drinking the Zero Sugar Blue Glacier Gatorade, also not a sponsor. But if you want to be, please reach out to me. So the first team here is Michigan, the 2023 national champions. The first game of the year against New Mexico. They're bringing the Lobos up to the big house. Prime time, NBC. Davis Warren, the quarterback from Michigan. They win this game 52-7. And then week 2 on the road at Oklahoma. Prime time, college game day. John Mateer for Oklahoma, the new look, revamped, revitalized OU offense in the SEC. That is definitely going to be a loss for Michigan. It's too much to handle too early in the season for them. And they lose week 2. And then Central Michigan, a bye game blowout, 63-14. Michigan wins that game. They're 2-1 at Nebraska. Dylan Raiola. I'm going to say right now it's a loss for Michigan, and they're 2-2. And then their first bye week of the year, going to October, they're 2-2, playing Wisconsin at home. It's a coin flip right now for me. I'm going to say Michigan wins that game, and they're 3-2 at USC, Los Angeles. Michigan wins that game, and they'll be 4-2, and then a rematch against Washington of the 2023 national title game. Michigan wins that game. They're 5-2. They're rolling right now at Michigan State, a sad program. Michigan State, can they pull the upset there? No. Michigan is 6-2. And then versus Purdue at home. Come on, guys. Michigan beats Purdue. They're 7-2 on the year. Here's where it gets kind of sketchy, though. At Northwestern, after the second bye week, it's going to be cold, windy. Michigan slips up at Northwestern, loses this game, and a micro upset there. And they're 7-3 on the year, out of the hunt in the Big Ten title race. A game against Maryland, they win that one. To bounce back, they're 8-3. And then to go over against Ohio State, here we go, big noon kickoff, November 29th, in the Big House. Michigan's 8-3. Can they beat Ohio State for the 5th straight time? I'm going to say no. Michigan loses to the Buckeyes, and they finish the season 8-4. Guys, take the under for Michigan. 8 wins, exactly. Lock it in right now. The under is the lock there. And then going to Penn State here, the semifinalist from last year. That first game of the year against Nevada, that's a wake-up game. You take a nap on your couch, you wake up, it's 34-7 in the second half. Penn State easily wins that game. They beat FIU. Pitbull's leading the program down there in the NIL race right now. Pitbull, FIU. They're not going to beat Penn State this year. Maybe next year, but not this year for FIU. Oh my goodness gracious. They play Villanova on FS1 in the third week of the year. 66-3. Penn State wins that game. And they sleepwalk through the first 3 weeks of the year. They're 3-0 playing Oregon, a Big Ten title rematch. NBC, it's going to be legendary. I think Dante Moore for Oregon's the quarterback or something like that. Can Drew Aller and the new transfer portal receivers for Penn State figure it out this year? That new look offense, can they be revitalized? They didn't have enough last year to beat Oregon. I think this year they do, and they are 4-0. James Franklin gets the revenge game, and then at UCLA, a tough road game there. A sneaky good, well, maybe not a sneaky good, but like a sneaky team there in UCLA. I think Penn State wins that game, though. They're 5-0. They beat Northwestern easily at home. They're 6-0. At Iowa, that's a tough one. I'm going to say win. So here it is, guys. They're 7-0 against Ohio State after the bye week. Seems like every year the collision course leads to Ohio State, Penn State, and that first week in November. Can they finally do it this year? Can James Franklin go into the Buckeyes? I think they did it in 2016. 9 years ago, they went in there and beat Ohio State on the road. Guys, not this year. Ohio State's too good this year. So Penn State loses their first game of the year, November 1st, and they're like 7-1. They play Indiana. They're 8-1. At Michigan State, a pathetic program. They're 9-1. Nebraska at home, that's a win. They're 10-1. And then to make it to the Big Ten title game once again, I think they beat Rutgers the last week of the year. And guys, Penn State wins 11 games this year. I know it's a high number, but really that schedule, look at the schedule here. There's nothing crazy. Ohio State on the road's their one game they probably lose. They could lose at Iowa, maybe slip up against Oregon, but yeah, honestly, take the over here, 11. It seems like a lot, but I think it's good value, actually. Penn State back to the playoff for the second straight year. take over 10.5. And here we go, the last one. The number one team in the country. So here it is, just like 10 years ago. They win the title, and then the offseason comes around. They have a huge quarterback room. I think 10 years ago it was Braxton Miller, J.T. Barrett, Cardell Jones. I think Joe Burrow was there too as like a freshman. This year they got, Sayin. They got like Kleinholtz, whatever. They got to find a quarterback before the season starts. But guys, there's so much talent on this team. The receivers, the defense is still really good. Ohio State, the national champions last year. They come back. The pressure's on. They're number one in the country. Can they go undefeated and win it all in a legendary run here? So the first week of the year, College game day, big noon against Texas. It's going to be 1v2. Legendary Arch Manning going to Ohio. Can Texas and Sark win this game? I'm going to say no. Ohio State wins this game by 3 or 4 points, and the Buckeyes get the second straight win against Texas. And then a cupcake game week 2 against Grambling. Another wake-up game. You wake up on your couch. It's 73-14. You're like, what the heck happened? Ohio State is 2-0. Week 3 against Ohio. So I call this game the Burrow Cup because I think Joe Burrow's dad was the Ohio coach, Ohio DC or something back in the day for the Bobcats. So this game's on Peacock, the Burrow Cup. Ohio State wins this game 56-10 on Peacock, and they're 3-0. Let me take a drink of the Glacier Gatorade real quick. Oh my goodness, I just rebooted from that drink. That was so good. At Washington, it's going to be raining. Going to be a night game there. Can Ohio State go on the road and beat Washington? I'm going to say yes. I think the offense is just too good right now. They're 4-0, playing Minnesota at home. They're 5-0. Now, here's one I'm kind of afraid for at Illinois. That team, they're decent, they're average, but it's the one game of the year they show up, they play really good against Ohio State. I'm going to say Ohio State sneaks it out by about 3 or 4 points there. Maybe like 28-24 on the road, 31-27. Ohio State beats Illinois, and they're 6-0 just like that. And then here we go at Camp Randall. Jump around game at Wisconsin. Number one team in the country coming in there. Can Ohio State get the job done at Wisconsin? I'm going to say no. I think Ohio State loses this game. They flood the field, everything. Everyone freaks out. Just like last year when Ohio State lost to Oregon, everyone's freaking out. The season's over. It's done. But guys, the expanded playoff, it leaves gaps here. You can lose these games, and it's not the end of the world. Ohio State loses to Wisconsin. They're 6-1. They bounce back in 2 weeks. Beat Penn State at home. They're still a top 5 team. They're 7-1. They go to Purdue. So I was there 2018 when Purdue beat Ohio State. Number 2 in the country. We flooded the field. Rondell Moore was crazy for Purdue. They go there. Purdue's just bad. They're just not good this year. I know a few years ago with Hudson Card, they were good. They won the Big Ten West. Not this year. Purdue does not beat Ohio State. Ohio State is 8-1. They play UCLA at home. They're 9-1. Rutgers at home. Are you kidding me? Beat them by 40. They're 10-1. And then at Michigan. So it's been 6 years, guys. The Titanic lady, she said it's been 84 years. That's how Ohio State fans feel right now. It's been 6 years since Ohio State beat Michigan. That was Ryan Day's first year. He beat Michigan and then never beat them again. Here we are, 2025. Can Ohio State finally beat Michigan? It's been 7 years since they won at the Big House. Guys, I'm saying this is the year. The offense is too good, guys. The receivers, everything. If Ohio State loses this game, you got to shut the program down. You got to shut it down. You got to fire Ryan Day. I know we said that last year. They won the Natty, but guys, you cannot lose to Michigan the year after winning the Natty. You just can't do it. So Ohio State wins this game, and they win 11 games in the regular season. So I have Ohio State going over 10.5. I have Penn State going over 10.5. And I have Michigan going under. I'm not a hater, I swear. I see this. I see the value in the overs here for these teams. The schedule sets up very well. So, guys, if you disagree, put in the comments below. But right now, I'm taking Ohio State, Penn State both to win 11 games. Michigan to win 8. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.